Hi, guys, and welcome into The Imperfect Messenger. Today we're discussing Matthew chapter 21, authority, alignment, and authentic worship. In Matthew chapter 21 marks a shift. Jesus is no longer teaching quietly, he is publicly establishing authority and challenging false systems. This chapter reveals the difference between appearance and authenticity, the power of aligned faith, the danger of fruitlessness, and the authority of obedience. This is where Jesus shows the kingdom is not passive, it confronts, corrects, and produces. So, starting off with Matthew chapter 21, 1 through 5, it says, And when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem and were come to Bethphage, unto the Mount of Olives, then sent Jesus two disciples, saying unto them, Go into the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them unto me. And if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, The Lord hath need of them, and straightway he will send them to us. He will send them. And this was done, and it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, Tell ye the daughter of Zion, Behold, thy king cometh unto thee, meek, and sitting upon an ass, and a colt the foal of an ass. So Jesus enters Jerusalem as a king, but not how they expected. Not on a war horse, not with political power, but in humility. So, moving on to 5 through 9, or 6 through 9, it says, And the disciples went and did as Jesus commanded them, and brought the ass and the colt, and put on them their clothes, and they set him thereon. And a very great multitude spread their garments in the way. Others cut down branches from the trees and strawed them in the way. And the multitudes that went before and that followed cried, saying, Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed is he that come in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. So the crowd praises him. But here's the deeper truth. The same crowd that shouts Hosanna will later shout Crucify. The insight on this, public praise does not equal true loyalty. The imperfect messenger must not build identity on applause. So moving on to 10 through 13, it says, And when he was come into Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, Who is this? And the multitude said, This is Jesus the prophet of Nazareth of Galilee. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all of them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. So this is not anger without purpose. This is righteous correction. The deep insight here is the temple was meant for prayer, presence, and connection with God, but it became transactional, corrupt, and self-serving. Jesus confronts anything that distorts God's purpose by doing this. So the empowerment principle, you must allow God to cleanse what he wants to inhabit. Before he fills your life with purpose, he will remove what does not belong. Moving on to 13 through 14, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. So notice the order here. He cleansed, then he healed. So cleansing has to come before you can heal. You have to cleanse before you can heal. 15 through 16 says, And when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying in the temple, and saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were sorely displeased, and said unto him, Hearest thou what these say? And Jesus saith unto them, Yea, have ye never read, Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise? And he left them and went out of the city into Bethany, and he lodged there. So, children recognize what religious leaders reject. Insight on that is purity recognizes God faster than pride. So moving on to 18 through 19, it says, Now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it, and found nothing thereon but leaves only, and said unto it, Let no fruit grow on thee henceforward forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. So the tree had leaves. It looked alive, but it produced absolutely nothing. The deep insight on this is leaves represent appearance. Fruit represents productivity. You can look spiritual and still be empty. 20 through 21 says, And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, How soon is the fig tree withered away? Jesus answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. So now Jesus shifts the lesson. Fruitlessness is judged, but faith produces power. The empowerment principle here, aligned faith is not passive. It speaks, it believes, it moves obstacles. So moving on to 23, it says, And when he was come into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people came unto him as he was teaching, and said, By what authority dost thou these things? And who gave thee this authority? So religious leaders challenge Jesus, not because they want truth, but because they feel threatened. 24 through 25 says, And Jesus answered and said unto them, I also will ask you one thing, which if ye tell me, I in likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, whence was it? From heaven or of men? And they reasoned with themselves, saying, If we shall say from heaven, he will say unto us, Or why did ye not believe him? But if we shall say of men, we fear the people, for all hold John as the prophet. So Jesus exposes their motives here. They cannot answer honestly. The insight, when truth threatens control, people avoid accountability. Let me say that one more time. When truth threatens control, people avoid accountability. So 26 through 31 says, if we shall say of men, we fear the people, for all hold John as prophet. And they answered Jesus and said, We cannot tell. And he said unto them, Neither tell I you by what authority I do these things. But what think ye? A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, Son, go work today in my vineyard. He answered and said, I will not. But afterward he repented and went. And he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. Whether of them twain did the will of his father? They say unto him, the first. Jesus saith unto them, Verily I say unto you, that the publicans and the harlots go into the kingdom of God before you. For John came unto you in the way of righteousness, and ye believed him not, but the publicans and the harlots believed him. And ye, when ye had seen it, repented not afterward, that ye might believe him. Continuing to read the rest of the chapter here, it says, Hear another parable. There was a certain householder which planted a vineyard, and hedged it round about, and digged a winepress in it, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen, and went into a far country. And when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the husbandmen, that they might receive the fruits of it. And the husbandman took his servants, and beat one, and killed another, and stoned another. Again he sent other servants more than the first, and they did unto them likewise. But last of all he sent unto them his son, saying, They will reverence my son. But when the husbandmen saw the son, they said among themselves, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us seize on his inheritance. And they caught him, and cast him out of the vineyard, and slew him. When the Lord therefore of the vineyard cometh, what will he do unto those husbandmen? They say unto him, He will miserably destroy those wicked men, and will let out his vineyard unto other husbandmen, which shall render him the fruits in the seasons. Jesus saith unto them, Did ye never read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the corner? This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you, and given to a nation bringing forth the fruits thereof. And whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. And when the chief priests and Pharisees had heard his parable, they perceived that he spake of them. But when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude, because they took him for a prophet. So one son says, I will not, but later obeys. The other says, I go, sir, but then does not go. So which of them is, doing the will of his father? The answer is obvious. Number one, the deep insight to this: God measures what you do, not what you say. Delayed obedience is better than fake agreement. So continuing on, I've already read the rest of the chapter, but the landowner sends servants in, and they're rejected. Finally, he sends his son. They caught him and cast him out of the vineyard and slew him. This is prophetic. Jesus is revealing what they are about to do to him. The stone which the builders rejected, the same has become the head of the corner. Rejected does not mean worthless. Empowerment principle here: what people reject, God can establish as foundational. Verse 43, we read that the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to a nation, bringing forth the fruits thereof. Now, this is powerful. Access to the kingdom is not about position, it is about production. Fruit is evidence of alignment. So, the major themes of Matthew chapter 21: Jesus operates in divine authority. External praise does not equal internal loyalty. God cleanses before he fills. Appearance without fruit is dangerous. Faith aligned with God moves obstacles. Obedience matters more than words. Rejection can lead to divine elevation, and the kingdom belongs to those who produce fruit. The imperfect messenger principle: you may be surrounded by people who don't recognize God's authority, feel pressure to perform instead of produce, be tempted to rely on appearance instead of transformation, experience rejection when walking in truth. But remember, God is not looking for perfection. He is looking for fruit, faith, and obedience. The final challenge, I want you guys to ask yourself, am I producing fruit or just maintaining appearance? Has God been trying to cleanse something I keep holding on to? Do I truly walk in faith or just speak about it? Am I obeying God or just agreeing with him? So in conclusion, Matthew 21 teaches this: authority flows from alignment, power flows from faith, and the kingdom belongs to those who produce. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and I hope this message has hit you guys. If it has, please like, share, and subscribe. I want to thank you guys for joining me on the Imperfect Messenger for Matthew chapter 21, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Go forth and be blessed. Bye, guys.